Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, this is the part 3 to our 5-part series on what we can do to use our rice. I thought that today would be a good day to have some dessert. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very simple dish to prepare. As you can see here, we're going to have to actually cook the rice from scratch for this meal and not use some of the rice that we had left over from our other meals, because when we cook this rice, we want to infuse it with some flavors of these spices that you see here. So for this dish, we're going to need some anise. For those of you that are not familiar with it, this is what it looks like. And this seed has somewhat of a licorice flavor, but it's not a strong licorice flavor that takes over the dish. It's just another layer of flavor that you notice in the back of your mouth after you swallow. It's very nice. We are going to need 1 clove. Just 1, ladies and gentlemen. Cloves have a lot of flavor in them, and 1 will go a long way. We are going to need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can put as many cinnamon sticks as you want in there. Cinnamon sticks work best. I'm using 3 large cinnamon sticks because I really like the layer of flavor that this leaves behind as well. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to need about 4 tablespoons of adobo. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just kidding. We do not need adobo for rice pudding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, continuing on, we're going to need about 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Whichever kind you use should work. We're going to need 1 cup of sugar. We're going to need 2.5 cups of water to cook that 1 cup of rice. The reason we're using more water than what we normally would if we were making rice for like an entree is because we want this rice to break down as much as it can and become really mushy in a way. We are also going to need 2 egg yolks and 1.5 cups of milk, but that won't be towards the end. That's why I don't have that out here right now. So let's go ahead and get started, and let me show you how it is that we cook this rice up. So the first thing we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to go ahead and put our rice in there. Now, normally, whenever I cook rice, well, not normally, all the time, whenever I cook rice, I use oil. However, for this dish, you don't have to use any oil. You can use a little bit if you like, but it's not really required. We're going to go ahead and put in all of our spices, our salt, our clove, our anise, and our cinnamon. And those cinnamon sticks, if you like, you can break them up or leave them whole. I feel that it's easier to take them out once it's done cooking if I leave them whole, so I do that. That clove there usually rises to the top of the rice, so it should be easy to take out as well. Then all we have to do is add our water. Add roughly a teaspoon or so of this vanilla. Now we're going to turn on our burner and get it to a boil. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of you asked me about this set of pans and pots that I'm cooking on here. This is a new set of pot and pans that we purchased from Costco, and it's actually the Kirkland brand. And so far, I'm very pleased with them. They seem to be doing a really good job. They do have a non-stick coating, but it's supposed to be one of those ones that are safe, right? But we'll see in 20 years. And I'm very happy with them. And I do believe that the entire set only costs like $119. And I mean, it brings everything that you need. So if you're interested in these pots and pans that I have here, take a look at your nearest Costco. And like I said, the price is about $119 for a full set, which is a very nice set indeed. So like I said, we're going to wait until this comes up to a boil, and then we're going to go ahead and place it to simmer for about a half an hour. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have it to a full boil, going to give it a quick stir, make sure there's nothing sticking to the bottom, and in this case, there's absolutely nothing sticking to the bottom. That's why it's nice using a little extra water also, because it helps to keep some of the rice from sticking to the bottom. We're going to go ahead and cover this up. As we always do, we're going to go ahead and turn on our smallest burner and put it to the lowest setting. And then we're going to go ahead and slide this pot right on over there. Now we're going to start our kitchen timer for 30 minutes. And when it rings, it'll be time to go to the next step, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take a look and see what this looks like. It looks really good. Oh, let me turn off my timer. Okay. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, that little clove raises right to the top. And you know, I forgot to mention that I put out a video making this rice pudding probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I revisited it and the quality wasn't that good. So that's why I decided to repost this. Plus, it suits this 5 video series that I'm doing. So that's why I figured that I would repost it with a little bit better quality, I hope. And that more people would enjoy this recipe, because hopefully more people will watch it. But I guess we'll see. So as you can see, I'm just removing the cinnamon. Now we'll give it a little stir. And look at that. None of the rice stuck to the bottom. It's excellent. And ladies and gentlemen, the smell is awesome. It smells so good that you want to eat the rice just the way it is now. But we're not quite yet done with it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and add our milk. And that's 1.5 cups of milk. We're going to go ahead and give it a nice little stir again. And now this is pretty important, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do right now. I have 2 egg yolks in this cup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of this mixture in at a time and then stir it. What we're doing is we're tempering that egg yolk, the egg yolk that are in there. I think that's what it's called, tempering it. Trying to bring it up to temperature just a little bit at a time without cooking the eggs. And we're going to do that till we get about halfway through this cup. So when we have about 1/2 cup of this mixture tempered in, then we're going to take this and mix it in with our batch that's inside of the pot. All right, now that we have our egg yolks tempered, we're going to go ahead and put it in just a little bit at a time and mix it. Let me see. Sorry that you can't see that. My hands are right in the way. But it's important that we keep mixing this. That way those eggs will incorporate in there without burning. Not really burning, but without cooking. And there we go. We'll get the last little bit out. Now we'll give this a nice little stir. Now we've only got 2 more steps to take, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be just about done. Now we're going to go ahead and add our sugar, our cup of sugar. I seen that a little bit of milk settled to the bottom of this. So let's get it all out of there. I'm going to mix this in really well. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we only have 1 step before this is officially done. And that is to bring it up to heat. We're going to go ahead and turn on our burner, turning it on high. And you're not going to leave this pot here by itself. We're going to go ahead and stir this until it comes up to a boil. As soon as it comes up to a boil, where you can see bubbles coming up, we're going to turn it off, give it a nice little mix, cover it, and let it cool down for a little bit before we handle it again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an extra step that you can take if you like to do this. I like my rice pudding with some raisins in it. So as you're bringing this up to a boil, I'm going to dump about 1 cup of raisins in it because I really like rice pudding with raisins in it. It gives it a little burst of flavor whenever you bite into one. So you're going to go ahead and incorporate that in there. If you like raisins, you don't have to if you don't. And go ahead and bring it up to a boil. All right, now that you see that it's come to a boil, you see when we stir it, and as soon as we take the spoon out of it, it starts boiling right away. So now all we have to do is turn off our heat. It is off. Stir it until there's no more bubbles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to cover this for roughly half an hour or so. We're going to let it sit there. Then we're going to go ahead and plate it. Now, when you plate this, you can have this one of 2 ways. Like I said, in many ethnicities or many countries, we like to have it hot for like a breakfast meal. And we also like to plate it, cool it, and have it as a dessert, because this will turn into somewhat of a pudding once it's cooled down. So we'll be back when we plate it, and I'll show you what it looks like hot, and I'll show you what it looks like after it's been cooled down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looks like after it comes out of the fridge. Now, prior to putting it in the refrigerator, I went ahead and put some plastic film over it in order to keep the moisture in so that it didn't create a crust. So we're going to go ahead and unveil this one real quick and give it a taste test. And look at that. It has turned into a pudding. See that? It's not loose or anything. Look. Wouldn't that be funny if it would have just plopped out? But it's not loose or anything. This is now rice pudding, and it looks delicious. Let's give it a taste test. And that's what it looks like. And I can smell it from here. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't tried this with raisins, try it. It is delicious. This serves as an awesome dessert. So I hope that you give this a try. And if you haven't taken a look at my previous 2 videos in this 5-part series, I'll go ahead and leave them up in the right-hand corner of this video so you can check them out. Tomorrow we'll be doing another one, and we'll finish it off with the last one on Sunday. Having said that, thank you very much for joining in. Truly appreciate your all support, so thank you for that. Remember to be good to each other. When people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I am out. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is the pork that I pressure canned a couple of days ago. Look at how nice that came out. Now what I do with my pressure canning projects is once I pressure can them and I put them out here and I clean the jars and everything, I let them sit on my counter for a couple of days just to make sure that I watch these seals, to make sure that they are fully sealed before I put them away. And of course, I still have to label them. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.